I think it's one of the few times that, the main curator sort of ask directly to each pavilion to directly respond to the prompt. This, in a way, in previous editions didn't happen so evidently. We tried to take that really seriously. And in order to provide a solution, only one, we invented one word, only one, where if the question is intelligence, the response is internalities. Also, like the words are sort of similar. And this is our lens. This is not a solution, it's an attitude. And I think this is what we are bringing to the community here in La Biennale, is in a way a celebration of how Spanish architecture in the last 5 to 10 or probably maybe more last years, they have been sort of representing and embodying this attitude of working differently.
We focused on how architects had started to approach global scale questions, right? This Biennale is focused on one of those global issues, which is of course the climate crisis. Both Manuel works and my work, they deal with different type of territorial questions that link architecture to the broader geographies in which they intervene. We took this question to the interior of the Spanish Pavilion with a show that is called Internalities, Architects for Territorial Equilibrium. And what this show does is to put in relationship the places that we build with the territories that they affect, the places that originate the materials that they use, or the energies that they employ, or the spaces in which the residues are employed on. So we create always this tension that is represented in the interior of the pavilion between a construction and a place that is quite far from it or closer to it that interferes. One of the things that we discovered as part of the process of the Bouzas architectural project was that the interest in territory emerged among architects in the 1960s precisely because for the first time they were starting to confront issues related to globalization, and they realized that in a world that had been completely shaped, already occupied, etc., architecture was not only dealing with construction but was actually affecting a lot of spaces, right? Different conditions, geographies, etc., that were used for the most type of diverse things, from extraction to production, to creating water reservoirs and etc., which all that implies a level of design light. So in this occasion, we took on that kind of a territorial discourse that emerged at that moment, and we try to actually take it into today. One of the installations that we have is the one on the emissions room. It's one of the rooms that we dedicate to research and to advance the agenda for internalities, not only with things that exist, but also somehow proposals that can be continued. And this is a room that has been done by Carlos Oliver and David Manuel from the Balearic Islands, collaborating with Mileno Villalba, the photographer. And basically they have developed an argument about how to reduce emissions in the context of the Mediterranean by taking into consideration the very particular climatic conditions that exist on this part of the world.
Just to add something there is, they have presented a vault, right, that is made up with the stone. And each of the rooms is contributing to the pavilion with their own resources, right? The people that is working, in the Mediterranean arc, they are bringing the Catalonian earth. People that is working in the Cantabrian cornice are bringing the Basque timber. But the missions, working in the Balearic Islands, refuse to work with the Mares sandstone, which is the most, iconic type of stone that they have. And they say, no, we want to work with what is available in the region of Veneto. It's very similar in terms of color and, mechanical properties, but it's from here. So they wanted to establish this direct connection, not probably the Venice, the island itself, but the region of Veneto, right? So in a way, the argument is what we are doing in the Balearic Islands can be extrapolated to many other places on the world, even the most contested ones like Venice.
Of course, the curatorial work is a very organized one, right? This is a complex task that involves working with a lot of individuals. So you really need to establish very clear boundaries, right, about what you're doing, so that there is a level of coherence. So we really strive to generate a level of coherence for the entire pavilion. But then, of course, we collaborate with a lot of individuals. We have 16 teams represented in the main room, and we have 5 teams of architects working with one photographer in each of the latter rooms of the pavilion. So there is a very strong level of, I think, interesting creativity and dialogue that comes with this interaction between us as curators and the many people that has participated in the pavilion and that have been we're very happy because they have been strongly committed to our proposal.